Hi everyone, I'm Ms. Karen at Adams Memorial Library here in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and welcome to our August Inquire Within program. So this month, we're talking about birds. Birds, yes, beautiful, wonderful birds, and a lot of our PBS kids friends like to study birds too, like Molly of Denali. She loves birds. And in this book that you can check out from the library, she's studying cranes, helping to study and learn about cranes. And you know, Nature Cat loves birds. Nature Cat and his friends love to get out and see the birds, talk to the birds. So some of the things in this month's kit will feature Nature Cat. And if you haven't done Inquire Within before, let me just tell you that each month we have kits available in the children's room at the library. So you can come down and pick up a kit, or you can call us and we'll be happy to, take them upstairs. You can just stop by the alley in your car. You don't even have to get out, and we'll bring the kits right to you. But we will have them in the children's room and available for curbside pickup as long as supplies last. But in the kit this time, there will be stuff about birds, so you can go out like Nature Cat and like Molly and observe birds yourself. So several of the PBS Friends activities are about making bird feeders. So here is one where Nature Cat tells you some different ways that you can start with making a bird feeder. You could use a pine cone, you could use a toilet paper holder, put some peanut butter on, put some seeds on, hang it up, and watch what birds come. And here's a bird journal. So once you've made the bird feeder and you're observing the birds, you can write everything down, draw pictures, draw what you observe, write what you observe in your own bird journal, just like Nature Cat might have. If you wanted to make a bird feeder an even simpler way, you can just take a pipe cleaner and you can put it's a little bit hard to see here, but they laced on some round cereal like Cheerios to put on that the birds might like to nibble on, and some blueberries. So you can just hang that up and watch the birds come and eat those treats. Or you can use a milk carton at home. If you have an old carton, once you've emptied it from the milk or the orange juice, you can clean it out and you can turn it into a bird feeder for birds too. So you will have so many ways to observe the birds if you make those bird feeders and keep your journal ready, and you'll be all set. But we also have some crafts this month that involve birds. And this one is to make birds sitting on a telephone wire or an electric wire, at the end of the day when the sun's starting to go down. You can make a craft like this. You can make a songbird. So those could be your evening birds. This could be your morning bird. And this is made with paper from recycled books. So this is a recycled craft with using old books, pages from old books. And this is an origami swan. And really we probably should be doing origami cranes because of Molly. But I thought swans were a little bit easier than cranes. So I thought we'll start there and then maybe we'll do origami cranes another time. But in your kit will be about 3 pieces of origami paper. So to make these swans, you'll find one of the plain origami papers. There's going to be some printed ones that you could use to make this bird, but it is up to you. If you want to use the printed one to make a swan and use the plain ones to make the bird's wings, you can do it however you would like. But there will be 3 plain ones. If you want to practice with the plain, you can do that. So the origami paper's in a square. The first thing you will do is fold it in half to turn. If you hold it like this for a diamond, you will make your diamond into a triangle. And if you do use the origami paper for this, see this origami paper has one side that's printed and one side that's plain. So you see right here, the plain sides. The origami paper that will be in the kits, the printed one, I believe, is printed on both sides, so you don't really have to worry about what's the front and what's the back. And the solid paper is the same color on both sides, so you don't have to worry about which is the front and which is the back. If you did have printed paper at home, If you wanted the print to be showing, it would be on the outside of your paper when you turn it and fold it in half. So when you fold it like this would be the printed side. But if you're using the plain side, be the same color on both sides. So the first thing you do, fold it in half. Second thing you do, open it up again. But you'll have this crease down the center, so then you can keep folding. So you're going to fold this outside edge and line it up with the center like this. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Take this outside edge and line it up along the center like this. And then it'll kind of look like an ice cream cone if you had a pointy scoop of ice cream there. So you folded the outsides into that center crease. And then you'll flip the whole thing over and then make the new outsides go to the center crease. So you'll make this outside go to this line in the center. You'll make this outside line up with this line in the center, like that. And then you'll have kind of a skinny ice cream cone. The next thing you'll do when you have this is take this bottom and bring it all the way to the top. The point at the bottom is going to meet the point at the top, like that. And this is what's actually going to make the swan's head. So once you've taken the bottom point, the skinnier point, and put it up at the top, the next thing you'll do is bend this down a little bit to make the swan's head. So when you'll be doing this, it's easier to put it down flat on a table. I'm just doing it so you can see. So we'll fold this part and crease it down like that. So this part is folded down. Then the next thing you're going to do is fold the whole thing in half. So if you turn it this way, or you could even turn it this way, and then fold this in half like that. So then the head of the crane will be on the outside, and the part that would be the swan is on the outside, and the part that's the swan's neck is bent in half. So once you've put the head down, you bring these together behind. So the swan's in the front, swan's head. And then once you've done that, the only thing you have to do is gently pull this out a little bit to make the swan's neck, and then you can decide how far, if you want it to be more upright or less upright, and then you just crease that. So here's the bottom, here's the swan's tail, here's the swan's neck, and then you can just bring her head up a little bit like that, and there's your paper swan. As I said, there's a couple of pieces of paper in the kit, some origami from origami papers in your kit, so you can make a couple if you want. And just, if you even wanted to try, if you had a small puddle outside, you can see how your swans float. I wouldn't put them in too much water because they'll get pretty soggy, but that's how you make your origami swan. Now, to make these birds on the wire like this, in the kit, there will be a piece of cardstock, a plain piece of cardstock. So you'll have that, and then this is tissue paper. So in the kit, there will be 4 different pieces of tissue paper, 1 yellow, 1 orange, 1 pink, and 1 blue. And then when you glue them on top of each other on the cardstock, that's what gives you this sort of ombre shade, and they all kind of blend together. So the tissue paper will be a little bit longer than this paper, or the cardstock. So you'll have a little bit extra to work with. If you want to do it like this, you can put the yellow on the bottom. You maybe need, like this much yellow, and you can either tear it or cut it a little bit on the top so it's not perfectly even. If you want to just give it kind of a gentle curve to it, you can do that. And then next will come the orange one, and you're going to put the orange on top of the yellow, and then those colors will blend a little bit. Then you'll do the pink, same thing. You can kind of curve it a little bit on the outsides if you'd like. That'll go on top of the orange, and right here, this is how the orange and pink mix together. And then after that, you're going to put the blue on top, and then right here is where the blue and the pink are blended together. So it gives it a really kind of a neat effect, like the sky at night. Once you have that done, you will find the template for the 4 birds, and there will be half a sheet of black construction paper in your kit too. So you will cut out each of these birds and then trace them on the black paper and then cut them out again. Once you have those all set, you're going to put them on this line here. So in the kit, there will be a piece of black line like this. It's longer than your paper is, so you can put some on the back, tape it down, and then pull it tight across the front, because you don't want your line to be too droopy. You don't want those birds to fall off. So pull it tight around to the back and then tape that side on. Then once you have the line on, you can just take those black bird silhouettes that you cut out and glue those right on top, and there's your bird. If you want to decorate it more, you absolutely can. You can put houses or something at the bottom. You can put stars up or the sun going down. You could decorate the birds. It's your art project. You do it any way you would like. Now, to make this bird in the kit will be a template for the bird and 2 wings, and that's made out of cardstock. So it's going to be one plain piece of cardstock to be the back of this picture, and there's going to be one with the bird shapes. That's going to make this bird. So you will cut out, if you want to make it so you can have it on both sides, you cut out both wings. If you just want to put it flat against the wall, then you only need to cut out 1 wing. So it's up to you. You can cut out the bird's body and both wings, or 1 wing. Once you have them cut out, there will be some pieces of a book, an old book that we got out of the book sale. And you trace the body onto these pages. So you'll put the template down and then trace the body and then cut it out. And if you want it on both sides, you'll make the bird going facing one way on the one side and facing the other way on the other side, because you want one side is going to be going this way, and then you'll want the bird to do the other side. You'll need it facing this way. Most of the pages are double-sided. If you have one where it's maybe the start of a chapter where there's fewer words written on the page, you can decide which side you want it to be on the outside of your bird. So you'll have one for each side of your bird, then you'll cut that out after you've traced around the template, cut them out and glue them onto the bird's body. And then if you'd like to make the wings with the printed origami, you can take the origami paper and, I'm sorry, I said it was printed on both sides. It's actually got solid color on the other side. So if you want both sides to be printed, you will take a wing, you'll trace it and then flip it over and trace it again to make the paper go on both sides. You'll see what I mean when you do that. If you make them both, if you cut them both out at the same time, it will only fit on one side. You want them to be mirror images of each other. You don't want them to be exactly the same. Otherwise, they'll only fit on one side of the wing and not the other. You'll see when you do it. You can do 2 different kinds of origami paper if you'd like. You can do the origami paper on one side and the plain side on the other. Completely up to you. But once you have those ready, you can glue them onto the bird's body. And then you can decorate it however you would like. I colored the paper. You don't have to. You can leave it plain. You can put on a face of the bird if you want to. You can keep it looking more like this, where it's just the silhouette of the bird. However you want to do it is fine. And there will be a little piece of yarn in the kit if you'd like to poke a hole in the bird and hang it up and watch it fly. And you can even pretend that your bird can sing. So those materials will all be in the kit. You can come down to the children's room and pick one up. As I said, we'll have them as long as supplies last. But if you're not able to come in and get a kit, you can always email us at kids@adamslib.org, and I'd be happy to email you the instructions for how to do the things and how to have the instructions to make the bird houses and the bird journal too. I'm sorry, the bird feeders and the bird journal too. So I thank you very much for watching, friends. And I, as always, always thank our friends at WQED Education and Clearview Federal Credit Union, because they are the ones who make it possible for us to bring these kits to you. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for exploring birds with me. And we'll be back next month for another Inquire Within program. So thank you very much. Bye.